Hey, everybody, this is Alex Fabrega coming at you again with their Teaching Tips Tuesday. Today, I have with me Joy Caius. She's the new Assistant Director of Early Childhood here at FBC. How you doing today, Joy?
I am good. Thanks for having me, Alex.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being on. So I understand you wanted to talk about writing an effective present levels of performance for IEPs.
Yes, I would definitely like to touch on that topic. It's so important to our parents and our kids.
And you have quite a bit of history in the IEP world, if I'm not mistaken.
I do. I have over 24 years doing this. So I have written a lot of IEPs and I've read some amazing ones and I've read some really bad ones, and the really bad ones don't do anything good for our kids.
All right, well, let's try and get some advice out there to help clean those up.
Certainly.
All right. So, what do you think makes the present level section so important? Why do you want to focus on that today?
Well, number one is it is part of the law under the IDEA, Individuals with Disability Act law. It specifically says in there that we will write a present levels that has a statement of the child's present levels of academic achievement and functional performance. And we have to write those in there and we must use data when we do it to talk about exactly what the child knows and what we're going to do.
Okay, that is very important. We are federally mandated to do so. What else?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are definitely federally mandated. Also, it helps gives the parent a guidelines and kind of a little walk of how their child's year is going to go. So it really helps them to know that the teachers and the staff and everybody working with their kids are really working towards certain goals and certain things that the child should know how to do at that age.
Now, parent friendliness in IEP writing is something that I often feel goes by the wayside. It is something that I need to remember actively to include. I tend to get a little jargon heavy, a little technical, a little bit too much ophthalmology vernacular going in there. What elements of parent friendliness should we consider?
Oh, I think that the present levels must always be parent friendly. Yes, sometimes we have to have some test scores, but parents already know what the mean old test scores about their child. They already know where their child's at. They just really need to know, what are we going to do as specialists for their child? How are we going to get them from point A to point B? As a preschool, they're a little bit different because we're not going to talk about academic achievement. We're going to talk about developmental achievement with preschool present levels. So it's really important to let the parents know, what can the child do, and then what are they going to add on to teach them how to do. What are we going to teach and how are we going to do it? What data shows us? What data shows us, oh my goodness, right now your child's performing at this level, and then here's how we're going to get them to the next level. And that will go right directly into their goals at the end of the IEP.
Okay, can you give us an example of this?
I certainly can. Let's talk about our little friend Dayton. So, say parents know that Dayton doesn't play well with others, and he's not playing in a group, and he's not talking to his friends, or he's not communicating in any fashion with his friends. So, we would want to say that when Dayton is put into a small group, Dayton will get easily upset and aggravated. And what that looks like is Dayton might hit his friends. When we did a test, 5 out of 10 times he hit or pushed his friends. So what we want to do is put him in a small group setting and slowly introduce him to his friends and get him to 100% of the time really enjoying that time with his friends.
Okay, and then you would mention these are the strategies we're going to use.
These are the
These are the
strategies we're going to use. Maybe,
interventions I'm planning.
absolutely. And we'll talk about, what kind of accommodations does he need? A voice? Does he need some assistive technology? Does he need something that's going to cue him to walk over to his friends? Are we going to have to introduce each friend? Do we need to teach the friends how to say their name? Hi, Dayton, I'm Joy, and I'm here to play with you today. So it's about getting the whole group involved.
Okay, and this, I imagine this sort of thing does take a holistic approach with all the service providers, since there's the PT PLAAFP and the OT PLAAFP and the Vision PLAAFP and the O&M PLAAFP.
In my perfect world, they would all sit at a round table and write their PLAAFP together in one PLAAFP, just so how everybody's going to do something. But yes, they definitely, all of the disciplines should definitely talk about the same thing so that we're all working toward the same goals.
Okay, and you mentioned briefly earlier that the goals should derive directly from the PLAAFP. Do you want to touch on that anymore?
Absolutely. You should be able to, we've always called it in old time special ed world, the dead man's test. So when we pick up that present levels, that anybody that picks it up or reads it, that they're able to see what the child can do, what we're working on, and oh my goodness, we wrote a goal. that looks exactly like that. So now, not only what can they do, what do we want them to do, but here's how we're going to do it. And here's the data that we're going to collect to do it. And that leads right into the goals.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much for giving us this insight into the world of PLAAFP writing. And those who may be unfamiliar, PLAAFP is the spelled out version of present levels of academic. What does the F stand for in PLAAFP? Do you remember?
Academic achievement and functional performance.
Functional performance. Thank you very
Right.
much. I always forget what the F stands for. All right. I have one more question for you, Joy, and that is, what is your favorite part of your job?
Oh, favorite part of my job is most definitely the kids. Most
Not
definitely.
IP writing. You don't
Never
super
ever
dig
about IT writing. That's not
writing.
fun stuff, but it's 100%. I come to work every day because of the kids.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again so much for being on Teaching Tips Tuesday. We appreciate your insight.
Well, thanks for having me.
And thank you so much to the folks at home for watching another episode of Teaching Tips Tuesday. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or topics that you want to see addressed, please let us know in the comments. I will try and find an expert, and we hope to see you next week. Have a good one.